Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Fantasy Q&A. I am Patrick Claybon, alongside Adam Rank, who just lied to me.
No, he didn't.
He is telling fibs, but we're all out of sorts because the Bears just got Chase Claypool. How do you feel, Adam Rank?
You know what? I want to be the person that's just happy that a good player is joining the Bears. You can go through my tweets. There is a famous tweet that I had a number of years ago where I said, I wish the Bears had selected Chase Claypool instead of Cole Kmet. Now, I'm assuming that Cole Kmet was not part of this trade. I don't even want to know I don't care what the compensation is. We got a good wide receiver. Let's be happy with it.
Yes, you're buyers, Bears fans. You're buyers.
Love it. It's
at
fun.
The trade deadline.
Right?
Let's get it. Folks, don't forget, if you have a question for us here at NFL Fantasy, send it to us. Just at us. We have one segment where we tell you not to. At us.
Yeah, but
any
normally
question.
at us.
Yes.
Normally at us.
At us, except when we specifically designate for you to not at us. That's coming up in the show. But let's start with some questions. This was coming from Roy. Trade high on Kamara or hold and keep?
Everybody loves trading. A guy that I've been waiting for weeks finally broke. Can I trade him? I don't know. I think that they need to fill too many hours on these digital shows, on all these other things, so they have these discussions. I would prefer to keep Alvin Kamara because I just don't know what the return is going to be for this player. Normally when we do these segments, Patrick, it's me being like, trade for the player that everybody's upset with because you can end up getting good values. Now everybody knows the secret's out. The idea is to trade for Alvin Kamara before last week's game, reap the rewards there, but now things are a little bit different.
Yes, the closely guarded secret that Alvin Kamara is good. At some point, if you're trading high, you got to have somebody on your team.
Like what are you doing?
Keep
your
Alvin
good players.
Unless,
you know what? I will say this. If you ended up with Kenny Walker, and I don't know who else would be a great example of a running back that you could have picked up late, or Khalil Herbert, let's say.
Yeah. Then
it's fine. Okay, maybe you want to move some pieces, upgrade at the running back or wide receiver position. That makes sense. But I have trouble envisioning the roster. I think before Breece Hall went down, if you were rolling with Breece Hall and Kenny Walker, like I was in one league, then it was like, okay, I could trade one of my high-price assets. But otherwise, keep them. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Hytham. I'm thinking through these.
This one comes from Filthy Mullah. Is Swift a must start from here on out? He barely was on the field this week. 6 carries, SMH.
Had a touchdown.
Yep.
Our touchdown's not good for you? I mean, obviously, he's been nursing some injuries over the course of the season. They got him back onto the field on Sunday. It's been a little bit of time. I think that this injury's lingered a little bit longer than most people would have liked. But at the same time, again, this goes back to what we were just talking about with Alvin Kamara. There are not a lot of great players out there that are, considered bell cow type of running backs. Now, obviously, in his first return action back for the Lions, they didn't give him a ton of carries, but give him a chance. Give him an opportunity. Think of all the people last week, or perhaps this week, are like, well, the 49ers barely use CMC, so I want to wait and see what happens. Yeah, you saw your way to a loss. So, yes, put DeAndre Swift in your lineup. He's good. At worst, he's a flex guy. And again, I don't know what your league looks like. And if you're in a smaller league where you have ample running backs, then perhaps you can afford to sit him. But otherwise, he seems like a player you have to start.
Yeah, and especially considering the T.J. Hawkinson trade to the Vikings, there's going to have to be targets that need to be soaked up.
There's a lot of trades.
DeAndre Swift is really good at soaking up targets from Jared Goff. That's why he won a lot of you fantasy championships in 2021. Yeah. Let's get to the next question. This one comes from Jadeel. Should I trade Devontae Adams after one bad game against?
This is again going back to the point of where I tell people this is when you trade for Devontae Adams. This is where we need to be the aggressors. And we need to go after the player that people are disappointed with. Again, it never behooves you. You're never going to get as much as you think that you're going to get for a player who just had a great week. Like, most of the people in your leagues are not rubes. They understand the score. They understand that these players had struggled or whatever. You might be able to get somebody who's upset with Devontae Adams, who wants to rage trade, and then perhaps you make a deal for him, because I still think that the Raiders, at some point, might turn this around. Although, I don't think that this is much. I don't think this is on Derek. I don't think this is on Devontae Adams. I think this might be on the guy who's calling the plays.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I'm just
agreeing with you because that stat on the screen, as Rank says, it is correct. But he also had 10 end zone targets this season before the game against the Saints. Didn't get one because they didn't cross the 50 when Derek Carr was in the game. So that is an outlier. They're not going to be that bad all the time. If you're in Jadil's league, trade for Devontae Adams because he's wondering about him. This one comes from Rick. Will Deonta Foreman continue at a high output RB?
He's going to get the volume. That's the one thing that you can count on. He's not really a factor in the passing game, which is a little bit of a concern. Chuba Hubbard expected to return this week. He's their passing down back. But what we've seen out of the Carolina Panthers in the 2 weeks under Steve Wilks is that they want to run the football. They want to keep these games short. They really believe in PJ Walker, and everybody should. Anybody who ever plays with PJ Walker loves him. So to me, I think that the Panthers are going to go out there, try to play ball control. He's going to get 20 touches. He's going to carry the ball like 20 times a game. I know this last week it was 26, I believe. He is going to touch the ball an awful lot. So again, he seems like at the very worst, he's a flex option for you. And anytime somebody's getting the ball that much, we love it because there's opportunity.
It's great, especially when PJ Walker's throwing the longest air yard distance pass since Next Gen Stats started recording it. So now they gotta get those safeties back because PJ will air it out. Just
love that.
Just keep Baker away from the football field, please. Coming up, we're ripping through some more of your questions. Plus, I got a question for Rank. Is Justin Fields a league winner?
No, we scratched that one. Although maybe we'll bring it back, Hytham. I don't know. Listen, I don't like answering that question because somebody got roasted on Twitter for even suggesting such a thing.
I'll say yes. We'll save you that segment. Totally. Yes, he's going to win your league. I got more fantasy Q&A when we come back. We're back. Yes, we're back on Fantasy Q&A. Patrick Claybon, Adam Rank. Let's get some questions. Rapid fire. 2 minutes on the clock. We want to know what you have and what you need. First question comes from Shanice. Should I trade Gabe Davis? The inconsistency has me worried.
I mean, I would get rid of him because I would like to not have him on my roster because the inconsistency, but I just don't. What's the value you're getting out of him? You might be stuck.
You lose the headache, but maybe a good player. What do I do with Najee, says Cody?
Again, nobody wants him. So he feels like a flex option, but I'm starting to get some Trent Richardson vibes out of him.
Oh my goodness.
Like you see some things you're like, what are you looking at?
Yikes. Wow. I'm going to have to adjust to that. Gwinty Card says, what are we doing about Sutton?
He's almost a drop. But I mean, like, I would keep him on the roster because he's talented. And by the way, we're actually recording this while the trade deadline is going on. So maybe he finds a new home somewhere. But yeah, he's losing a lot of value.
All right, minute 13 on the clock. Will Morrison, should I trade Debo? Oh my goodness.
What? No, what's funny is we haven't seen this 49ers offense with both these players. No. I think that ultimately this is going to end up negatively impacting Brandon Ayuk. But I think that they find creative ways to get the ball into the hands of CMC and Debo.
Yeah, 70 plays a game. There's plenty. Reggie, is Curtis Samuel still that guy? I think
you know what? I would say Taylor Heineke loves Terry McLaurin. Mm-hmm. We love Terry McLaurin.
Facts.
So I'm into it. No, so I said no. So I guess
Jack, should I try and offer up Pittman Jr. with how inconsistent he's been?
No, I think that people will be scared off because Sam Ehlinger is the quarterback. Although he targeted him enough last week to give you a little bit more of a comfortable base. So I would hang on to him. Again, you're not getting anything for him.
Also, a rotation of a butt cheek away from a touchdown. Russell wants to know, is Brian Robinson set to take a backseat to A-Gib because he can't catch passes?
The rise and fall of Antonio Gibson has been one of the most interesting things to me. I don't know why this coaching staff doesn't seem to really like him, but again, I think it goes back to Taylor Heineke, who seems to like Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson. They play much better with him as quarterback and with those guys playing.
Before we go, Mason, is it safe to start James Robinson over Michael Carter?
I think this is going to be the week. I think this is going to be another one where, listen, much like they did with CMC in his first week in San Francisco, they brought in James Robinson with a limited playbook. For the Jets to be successful, we do like that they got Garrett Wilson involved. I think that's huge. Additionally, they have to run the football. They just have to run the football. Zach Wilson is not a great quarterback. They are going to win with defense and running the ball. So I think that James Robinson ends up being the beneficiary.
Yeah, that makes sense. He could be the benefactor.
What's the proper word?
He's donating points to your fantasy team.
The internet
He is your benefactor. Thanks for the questions. That was rapid fire. Now it's time for us to get into some true or false.
Oh.
Because we're binary. This is digital, this segment.
Yeah,
it's only one or the other. We start with Tua Tagovailoa with a QB1 in Week 8 rank.
Yeah.
True or false, you can trust starting Tua going forward?
I would think so. Again, without having full knowledge of your rosters, I know it'll be a case-by-case thing. If you have, Patrick Mahomes and Tua, that would probably be a false. But I think for the most part, where you streamed Tua is probably where you want him. I think he's going to be consistently good for you, great weapons around him. So I'm very comfortable with Tua Tagovailoa.
And also, a lot of Mike Gesicki here.
How do they find all the Mike Gesicki tape?
He's back. He's back in our lives. Second true or false question. DJ Moore, currently wide receiver 25.
Oh, wait. No, look at this one.
Oh, we got it back. I've been wrong about this every time. True or false?
Okay.
Fields will be a league winner.
I'm going to say true. I mean, you got Chase Claypool now. Listen, one of the things that we love about Justin Fields is his ability to run the football. The Bears have recently started designing runs for him, as you see right here. Look at that. Effortless. Waltzes into the end zone against one of the best defenses in the league without being touched. N'Keal Harry doing a great job of shielding the defender right there. If Dante Pettis knows which way to turn on a ball, like there would have been another touchdown. I think you got to be encouraged by what you've seen out of Justin Fields. Chase Claypool only makes this situation that much better. And by the way, Brian Baldinger told me on Monday night, he's like, the Bears' offensive line is not as bad as you think. So I don't know. Like, do I want to trust Duke on the internet or Brian Baldinger? I don't know. Weirdly, I'm going to go with Baldinger's word.
Yeah. Different
That's
opinions.
just me.
Yeah, we like Baldy. We know and
no
trust
offense
Baldy.
to Duke, though. He's lovely.
Yeah, also love Duke Mayweather. DJ Moore, currently wide receiver 25. We'll get to this one now. True or false, Moore will finish the season in the top 15. 10 more spots.
Oh, my gosh. I'll say true just because I really like DJ Moore. And last week on our Tuesday show on the NFL Fantasy Live, when we were playing the ones, I said, give me DJ Moore. Everybody scoffed. And then he went out there, had a pretty good game. I don't know that he finished number one overall, but he was pretty good. PJ Walker, again, he's a good player. I'm glad that he's getting an opportunity. I'm glad that Steve Wilkes is getting an opportunity. I hope Carolina is invested in this. I really want to see DJ Moore take off. I don't anticipate, again, this is recorded before. Am I pulling back the curtain, Hytham? Should I not be telling people that this isn't live? We're recording this before the trade deadline ends. I hope the Carolina Panthers keep him because he's a good receiver. He's young and he's got a good contract. Why would you get rid of that player?
For the mystery door. Oh. With these picks, we might get a good wide receiver.
We might get a DJ Moore type.
Just keep DJ Moore. We'll go to our last true or false question. True or false, the rest of the season, Tony Pollard will outscore Zeke.
Oh. You know what? True. Well, I'll go true. I think that Tony Pollard is the more dynamic player. We saw it on Sunday. If he was given an opportunity just to be the solo back, and again, I don't think that the Bears' defense was as bad as everybody is thinking, because a lot of them are like, oh, look how bad they were, and then they traded Roquan Smith. What if Roquan Smith was the problem on Sunday? Here's my thing. Tony Pollard is a dynamic back. The GM of the Dallas Cowboys loves Ezekiel Elliott, so he's always going to get his opportunities. But at some point, the cream always rises to the top. Like the Macho Man Randy Savage always says, the cream rises to the top. So I love it. I love both these guys. Honestly, and I know that you didn't ask this, I think Ezekiel Elliott is not to be slept on either.
No. And there is a significant value to Zeke in other aspects of the game. We saw the Atlanta Falcons lose the Super Bowl because the running back couldn't protect.
Yeah.
But there's real reasons to have Zeke in the game. Although when you're watching two players on your fantasy team and you see one guy get 60-yard runs, and it's like, oh, I want more of that guy.
It is.
You got to dial it back a bit.
Not to go back to the Bears, but it's like with Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery. Yeah. Like Khalil Herbert's outgained David Montgomery. Khalil Herbert is not great in pass pro, and it's why David Montgomery is a valuable asset for that team.
You like to have your quarterback upright, safe, and happy, especially when he's young and he just got Chase Claypool. Yeah, trade deadline fun. We've got more coming up on Fantasy Q&A, including, is it time to hit the panic button on Jonathan Taylor? Ooh. Oh, we don't have the button in here. We'll tell you when we come back on Q&A. Back here on Fantasy Q&A, Alan says, what do I do with JT?
You know what? Again, I would be trading for him. I tried this last week with a number of people. When they see me try to trade for a player, they automatically back off. They're like, no way, dude. Like, I could have offered Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley for Jonathan Taylor, and that deal would have been turned down because people get a little bit too concerned. I think having Sam Ehlinger out there with his ability to run the ball is going to eventually open things up for Jonathan Taylor. Last season, he had a little bit of a slow start before he got it going. I'm still confident that they can turn this around. We'll see, though. We'll see. But you got to stick with them.
Got no choice.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, just hope that they got it figured out. They got a scapegoat out of there and firing the offensive coordinator today. So we'll see how things go for Frank Reich and the Colts for the rest of the season.
We should bring in one of our social media managers, Aaliyah, who last week cut Alvin Kamara.
Right.
And then not only did she lose the player, obviously, she went up against him last week and was burned. So don't do that.
To a crisp, singed, if you will. Thank you for the question, Alan. Happy Gecko Gaming says, do I trust Pitts? Finally dropped him after all this time, and then he does that.
You know what's funny is I had advised one of our friends, because she was like, hey, what do I do with Hayden Hurst or Kyle Pitts? And I said, I just can't seem to quit Kyle Pitts, and yet somehow my phone put Hurst. I don't know what I was thinking. This is what happens when you hit me up for these questions on Saturday when I'm trying to get my kids ready for a holiday party. But you know what? Kyle Pitts is who he is. And it's just one of those situations that...
I mean, look at this.
I mean...
like, why wouldn't you give us the ball more?
You know what's funny?
Like, what?
Is we talk about Arthur Smith wanting to win games. You know, the Falcons are way better when he has, like, over 80 yards. Like, statistically proven. I honestly believe that he's too good to bench. He's too good to cut. And who are the tight ends that you're going to pick up? Who is it? Who? I don't know. You got to start them, and sometimes it's going to be a bagel. You're just going out to Einstein's Bagel Company, and that's what's going to happen. That's what it is. I'm sorry that I wasted a third round because I was on the button, but I wasted a third round pick too. Like, we got to live with it. Make our decisions. This is why I'm glad I picked up Kenny Walker.
Yep, you got no choice. Happy Gecko.
Celebrate the good picks.
Yeah, just deal with it. Well, and now it's time for a special part of the show. Don't at me. Rank, give the people a spicy player take for Week 9 so we can cause chaos on the internet, but don't at us.
Don't at me on this one. You can anything else you can kind of get out there. You know what? I'm going to say this. Trevor Lawrence is going to be the QB1 this week going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. You know why? First of all, that Raiders defense is not very good. I know that last week there wasn't a lot of great production from the Saints quarterbacks, but I trust Trevor Lawrence. By the way, think about this. Too often in fantasy, we chase the points on like, hey, this guy's been playing well. Let's insert him into our lineup. And then he does nothing. Let's go the other way. Let's take a guy who is bad and then hope. No, that's not it. I'm just teasing. I'm joking. I'm being facetious on that part. But I love the matchup. I love the aggressiveness of Trevor Lawrence. Like, one of his big problems is that he forces it in a little bit too much, especially near the goal line. There's been a lot of turnovers that have not been great, but Doug Peterson came out. I don't know why I paused on his name, but Doug Peterson came out recently and said, listen, I'm not going to try to coach the aggressiveness out of him. Does this mean that he's going to end up being Jameis Winston? Yeah, probably. But for this week against the Raiders, I really trust him. And if you're streaming quarterbacks, let's go.
My thing is, when he misses and misses high and bad, at least it's the right read.
Yeah.
At least it's the right decision. I feel like we can get the ball there eventually. Don't worry too much about Trev. I like it. I like it as a pick. I've got quarterbacks as well for my don't at me. In fact, I've got a quarterback that's going to give you 25 fantasy points that you might not be expecting. In fact, I've got two quarterbacks that are going to give you 25 fantasy points that you might not be expecting. The first, we previously discussed, Justin Fields.
Yes.
In a game in which two of their best defenders have recently been traded. Well, give Robert Quinn like the Defensive Player of the Year award, because the team had nothing to offer against Dallas without Robert Quinn. I think it's going to be a score fest against the Miami Dolphins. And then the Chargers defense hasn't really brought what I thought it's going to be. I think we see a lot of Marcus Mariota running, maybe some balls to Kyle Pitts, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe.
For the fantasy universe and just the general universe as well, the Milky Way galaxy. But I see both of these guys having big games in Week 9.
I love it. I love both of those calls. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of these quarterbacks this week. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited. I want them to bring back those uniforms. Where are those? I know you don't like those.
I like the black helmet.
You're a
black
big fan. It's a good look. I think it's cool to like mix it up too. Yeah. Why not? I don't. Why the NFL has to be so stoic? We can only have one uniform. Like, people like the variety.
You can't take your helmet off and be happy.
It's a television sport. Like, why not have multiple? Yeah. Oh, by the way, stop the taunting penalties, especially at the end of the game. Taunting penalties should be off after the last 2 minutes.
The only good one was the one on A.J. Brown where he pointed at two defenders on the ground.
That was fine.
Yeah, it was fun. The flag helped it. The flag made it cooler.
You want television viewers, right?
Yes.
This is how we get paid. It's people watching on television. Yes. People don't watch for penalties.
No.
Believe it or not, NFL league office, they don't watch for the penalties.
No celebrate. Hey, flag.
I want to see DJ Moore's face.
Yes. Thanks for checking out Fantasy Q&A. Be sure to send us your questions all season long at NFL Fantasy. You can catch us every Tuesday and Friday streaming in the NFL Fantasy app and on the NFL channel, or on demand afterwards. Subscribe to the Fantasy Football Show podcast. We're in their podcast feed as well, so check that out. That's going to do it for us here on Fantasy Q&A. Rick, any parting thoughts for the people?
If you're watching this show, this is like one of my favorite things that I do all week. So can you get other people to watch? Because this is amazing. I love the time that we spend here on Tuesday. They were going to allow me to do this from home. And I said, I will not do that because the show will suffer. So I'm going to come in and do this. All right, fine. I'm out.
Bye, everybody. See you on Friday.